Hello, my name is Jawanda Jones, and I have decided to do this YouTube channel to share my opinion and even opinions that God has shared with me. But today I'm going to talk about being a victim of racial discrimination concerning my two loves. On December 23rd, 2003, a man by the name of Hunter Trice got into his mother's vehicle and proceeded down the road in Louisa, Virginia, under the influence of drugs, I believe, or alcohol, but we know it was drugs because drugs were found in his vehicle at the time, and he proceeded to hit them head on. My daughter was 7 and my son was 8. They died. They was with their grandfather, and he almost died, but God blessed him to live another 8 years. He hit the car so hard with the truck. My daughter was half in the truck and half out the truck. My son didn't live, but he lived just enough time to get in the helicopter to not be DNR by the time he made it to Charlottesville from Louisa, where that is a 20-minute drive. So I can imagine how short of a time it was for the helicopter. So that is like the end of the discrimination. As we began, the sheriff, the state trooper was telling me that they didn't see skid marks, and I told them they didn't see skid marks because he didn't try to stop. Secondly, third, and fourth, later on, I come to find out from his wife, because she sent it to me, he had a stack full of charges. I didn't understand how this man had so many charges. He had a lot of charges, but never went to jail, from my understanding. But around January or February, they did begin court proceedings. They charged him with reckless driving, will carry a charge of no more than 12 months. To my understanding, there were drugs found in the vehicle. Because he was driving his mother's vehicle, from what the courts told me and the prosecuting attorney of Louisa, Virginia, told me, because he was driving his mother's vehicle, even though it was tested and proved to be illegal drugs, they said they could not prove that the drugs was his. Yes, I did say that. They said they could not prove that the drugs were his. So they dropped that charge. I have to go back to that. Drugs was found in the vehicle. He did not go to the hospital that night. He knew if he had went to the hospital, they was going to test him. He went the next day, which he did have a broken foot. So he did get that injury in the accident. How he walked around a broken foot, I don't know. Then, to add salt to my wound, they had some lady there talking to me and some man acting as if they cared, but they didn't. It was the old boy mentality. Do enough to keep her quiet, because I was calling everybody I could, because it was an injustice. I buried my 8 and 7-year-old, and all they charged him was reckless driving, and that you get for a deer, and my kids was not deers. Then they proceeded for the court date. They gave him 12 months, 6 months suspended. He did not want that. They asked me if I want to come to the court. I said, well, I'm coming to the sentencing. Is I going to add to him? It was just going to be salt on my wound. I didn't go that day. He appealed that because he felt like he shouldn't have went a day for killing my black kids. Again, he felt like he shouldn't have went a day for killing my black daughter and my black son. So then he went to Supreme Court. They did find him guilty for 12 months, of course, 85% rule. So whatever it is, 9, 10 months, he served for killing. Because anytime you take drugs and drive a vehicle, that's a weapon, and he killed my kids. That is not the end of the story. There were people calling the news station. They had covered this. There were people calling the news station telling them that they were told because I was calling around, nobody would call me back. They was told if anybody talked about that accident, they would lose their job. And this was a lady that said she worked on my daughter because my daughter was dead. They brought her back, but she wasn't back in her body. So they were being threatened for their job. Now, this is all stuff that was coming to me. So again, this was Louisa, Virginia, a white person's town. These were 2 black kids. Nobody would say anything. Nobody cared. Okay, we're going to put it under the rug. He ain't going to spend no time. I'm going to let it go. And that's what they did. He had drugs in the car. I have never heard of that. Never heard of it. I know, being a black person, if I was in that car with somebody else who driving on drugs, I would go downtown for 5, 10, 20 years. Point blank. I would be locked up. So I said this to say that I understand the frustration that we're going through at this time. I understand how it is to watch your child die in vain because the cops don't feel like their life is valuable. I saw that. I saw the court system feel as though their life wasn't valuable. But with that said, it's a proper way to do it. My thing is this: don't go busting and burning up people's buildings. How we need to do it as black people is come together. Meaning what? Band together. In your town, don't go eat at their place. Pick 2 or 3 days or a week. All the blacks get together. Don't eat there. Don't swim there. Don't shop there. Make them go broke. If you don't go there for a week or 2, how are they going to support their business? That's the way we take their business. Let them go bankrupt. Then we get it. Then we can have it. Why tear down a building that could potentially be ours? It's a way to do it. Let's use our head. Don't get out there and then you bust a window and then the cops come and then they arrest you, and you know they don't care. They really don't. It's some that do care. In the city I'm in now, a white woman got upset with me because she got nasty. And I told her she would never talk to me like that again. She said I threatened her. And her manager at Walgreens in Raleigh, North Carolina, allowed her to call the police on me. And she was standing right there. I did not threaten this woman. It was because I told her she's not going to talk to me like that anymore. I told her I would go on somebody else's line. But I was a black woman taking up for myself. And her manager allowed her to call the police on me. How the police is killing people these days. I had just had an experience. But it might be 10, 13 years ago, but guess what? I don't trust the police like that. I honor them to a certain degree. I respect them. I know some police that are good. Not all police are bad. Not all white people are bad. But get it straight. A lot of them do have an old boy mentality. But that's all I want to say is that I've been a victim. And this is the way I feel we need to do it. Nobody came to my rescue. I did. I called different people. I called legislations because I feel like, why was he able to walk away? Why they don't have, I wanted the law changed. Nobody listened to me. I said, I feel like they should have on the rescue squads and stuff, they should have drug kits. They should have some, it should be mandatory. Whenever somebody in an accident, that your blood be drawn right then. to see, are you under the influence? You should not be given an opportunity to become sober because you have taken somebody's life. My kids died before time in a vehicle they did not know how to drive. I walked from one casket to the next because a white man by the name of Hunter Trice killed my kids. And Louisa, Virginia allowed it to happen. They sat back. They let him did it. They honored him for doing it. And that's it. But if you keep coming to my channel, I speak about more things. But it's a way to do it. Take care.